Hey guys, welcome back to another Spec-V video update. So now we get to the good stuff, where I outline my current vision for the car. And that vision basically comes down to these two words, fun and comfortable. When it comes down to it, I'm not building a drag car, so I don't need or want a lot of power. But that doesn't mean that it couldn't use a bit more, and we'll address that shortly. What I do want is a good daily driver, a smooth highway cruiser, and a fun weekend toy. Think of it as something that could be equal to, say, a brand new Honda Civic Si without all of the new car nannies. The car currently has over 200,000 miles on it, and from what I can tell, it still has the original engine. Unfortunately, there are no markings on the engine to confirm this, but the VIN on the transmission does match the car, so I do know that is original. There doesn't appear to be any tool markings on the bell housing bolts, so I am unsure if it has ever been separated from the engine, which means I have no idea if the clutch has ever been changed either. I do believe the timing chain has been changed at some point, as there's excess gasket maker around the timing covers. All in all, it does run pretty good, although a bit noisy, and is likely due for another timing service. As far as I can tell, it doesn't burn much, if any, oil. It doesn't leak fluids from anywhere. The AC compressor looks new and works amazing. The radiator looks new, and I have some silicone hoses going in very soon. I'm pretty confident I fixed my check engine light issue with the O2 sensors by replacing both sensors and putting the downstream sensor in a longer defouler. The light actually went off on its own and hasn't come back yet. But enough about the current state of the car. What are the plans I have outlined? Let's start with the interior. And honestly, I don't expect to change much here. As you've seen in a previous video, I did a full sound deadening treatment along with some other tweaks to bring the road noise levels down the best that I could. I also installed some new speakers, but as of the editing of this video, I'm still dealing with it not sounding very good. I'm not really a stereo person and I'm not good with wiring, so I'm still trying to figure it out. I do have a new genuine leather steering wheel cover that I will update you on in the next video, and I don't see myself making many other major changes. Overall, it's pretty clean and doesn't need much work. Underneath, the car is pretty clean and completely rust-free, being an Arizona car. Here's where I will focus on increasing chassis stiffness and reducing suspension stiffness. The BC Racing coilovers currently on the car will be replaced soon with a 2J Racing lowering spring and KYB shock combo. I don't really need the height adjustability, and adjusting the shocks for certain tasks is cool and all, but not easy to do in the rear. Overall, I have found the BC Racing coilovers to be a bit on the stiff side, and with the damping adjusted to full soft, it can be a little bouncy. I've been running them on 7 to 10 clicks from full soft, and that makes them a bit more tolerable, but large bumps and freeway bridge transitions make them feel like they have almost no travel. Any suspension arms that need new bushings will be replaced with OEM style units and retain the rubber bushings. As of this moment, I have no plans to change the front sway bar, but we'll definitely add a rear bar soon. Aside from the suspension, chassis bracing is on the list, and I'll be going with the front 4-point lower brace, 4-point strut brace, and trunk brace, all from R&D Metalwerks. As far as the brakes go, I haven't decided what path to go down just yet. I would say maybe Z32 calipers or something equivalent to them in braking power. These cars did come with factory Brumbos at one point, but to find them used in good condition, they are ridiculously overpriced, so probably not worth it. I'll eventually do a full 5x114 hub conversion, which will of course require some new wheels that I have not decided on yet, but I might have an idea. If anything changes here or I find something else to add, I will update you in a future video. And now for the part that I am sure most of you are the most interested in, the engine. Let me just get the cat out of the bag right away and say that I am not a fan of the QR25 engine. Yes, it makes good power and torque, and it can be fun to rip around, but let's be real here, the 6100 RPM redline is pretty abysmal. After doing some searching on the internet to see what people were doing to these things, I came across some interesting info. I don't know how accurate this information is, so please correct me if they are wrong, but if you revved the QR25 to 7,000 RPM, the piston speeds would be faster than an F1 car revving to 18,000 RPM. This is due to it having a 143mm rod length and a massive 100mm stroke, which results in a tiny 1.43 to 1 rod to stroke ratio, great for low end torque, not good for high RPM. I come from a long history of SR20 powered Sentras that could rev much higher than that. So this got me thinking, sure, I could do an SR20 swap, but I didn't want to go down a route that I've already been down before. And yes, you can VQ swap these cars, but that's more work than I can handle, and I won't have a lot of space to work in. Then I found out about the QR20. which is basically the same engine, but with a smaller displacement, 9.9 to 1 compression, and about 140 horsepower. It's found in the Nissan X-Trail, the P12 Primera, the Nissan Serena, etc. Oh, and the best part is that it has a 152.9mm rod length and an 80.3mm stroke. That is a much more reasonable 1.9 to 1 rod stroke ratio that is high RPM friendly. From the factory, they rev to 6,500 RPM, but I think with some cams and springs, we could get it to go to 7K, maybe 7,500. Then we add some boost. Say maybe a Garrett GT 2860 RS. No lofty power goals here. I think somewhere in the realm of 220 to 230 wheel horsepower would be more than sufficient for what I need. I'm sure there are quite a few of you rushing to the comments to scold me for not keeping the QR25, but when I have an idea like this in my head, I typically run with it. Not to mention, I like to be different. And this setup could be quite fun in a comfortable cruiser / weekend track toy. So if there is anyone out there that knows the QR engine like the back of your hand and can offer me some insight into what I have planned here, or maybe have some ideas as to how I can perfect this setup, please reach out to me. I would love to pick your brain. For now, we will continue to get the car in a position that I am comfortable driving it 75 miles a day back and forth to work and just enjoy it. With that said, I'd like to thank everyone that stuck around and listened to me ramble on for the whole video, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.